Well, I mean, that's not something I would ever do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
sure,
Right.
you'd never do
Yeah,
that.
okay.
You guys are crazy. I would never do something like that. I don't know what
Yeah,
you're talking
we're
about.
the crazy ones.
I just don't.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
Okay, let's move on. We've got this story from the Mirror about a woman gobsmacked after a seemingly charming date sends her cruel message.
No, man, this is going to be a good one, I can tell.
A woman has shared the brutal message she received from a charming man she went on a first date with.
Charming
As
man.
he told her, he sees her in his future as long as she starts working out 5 to 6 days
Oh
a
my
week
No
God.
and loses
way.
some weight.
Holy crap, no way he said that.
Wow, that is pretty
Yes,
brutal.
the story goes on to say this could possibly be the most savage response to a date ever. I think I would
Yes,
agree.
I would say this is pretty sad.
It's at least got to be in the top 10.
I'd say more like in the top
The
2.
world of dating can be a treacherous
I
place,
mean, I hate this guy
especially
already.
when your date doesn't sugarcoat their feelings, as one woman found out in a brutal way. She was left stunned after coming home from an evening with a seemingly charming man
There's
who didn't
charming
hold
again.
back
A charming
when
man.
he tried to offer her some advice for her well-being.
As for her well-being.
She admitted she felt a connection on their date, so she was gobsmacked to receive a string of cruel messages afterwards that included being called obese and that she should start dieting. However, he told her she had a second chance because of her personality, but
Oh my
advised
God,
she
with
should
this
lose
guy.
a few pounds before they meet up again.
Okay, I'm going from top 10 at least down to top
There has to be
5.
more to this. That's just brutal. So they went on a good date, and then he responded.
There is the story goes on, and it talks about where they met and that the woman thought the date was going well. She talked about how they were talking for hours, they had similar values, and then he invited her back to his place for coffee afterwards, to which
Oh,
she
there it
declined,
is,
as
right
she
there.
admitted
That's the
she
whole
wasn't the
story
type
right
of gal
there.
to go back with a guy on the
Stay
first
up
date.
after a date.
And she said he wasn't offended by that. She, said, hey, I was tempted, but decided not to take him up on the offer. And, sure enough, I think that's when he expressed his true
Yeah,
feelings.
that
It sounds
like the whole ball of wax right there.
So it goes on to say that she went home, she thought everything was fine, then got a whole string of messages telling her that she was overweight, needed to lose a few pounds, but hey, he thinks he could see her in his future as long as she does all that first, has a beautiful face, he said, was the quote here, he said, I think you're lovely. I could definitely see you in my future. However, to get there, I feel you need to address something. Well, you have a beautiful face. You are physically way bigger than any girl I would let myself date. I would even go as far as to say obese. The only reason I'm giving you a second chance is because your personality is so good enough to make me see past this at first, and told her to take immediate action to redeem herself,
So this guy's just a jerk, so she wouldn't put out for him. And this guy just went all jerk.
Yeah, I thought maybe he was okay at first, but this guy sounds like a complete asswipe.
I can't even fathom
He's just a total jerk, no question about it.
Okay, I'm moving my count from the top 5 up to the top 1. At least he's definitely a top 1 jerk-off for sure.
Yes, and to further highlight that reality, he went on to take a further dig at her on her, quote, old-fashioned views on sexuality and told her it was disappointing that she wouldn't let him enjoy her physically and said, I'd expect more from a woman who's single in her late 20s. Sincerely, I hope you take these suggestions to heart. If not for my sake, then the sake of your own well-being. And I think they said sail here. This could be the start of the rest of our lives together. Oh boy, I'm sure she said after that, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the rest of our lives together, for sure.
Yeah, nothing a girl wants more than to be called fat by the guy she wants to spend the rest of her life with.
Well, even if she were to get all thin, she'd be fat by the time they got married.
Well, she would certainly get fat again after they got married for a year anyways, if that was the future, so better get used to her being fat now,
Even
buddy.
if she lost some of that weight, I'm sure after about a year or so, then getting together, if she pumps out a couple of kids, he's gonna pump right back up. So he just.
You guys are all idiots. This girl doesn't need to be anywhere near this jerk off. I'm sure she's beautiful. She doesn't need this idiot. Tell her to lose weight.
I'd like to know what's probably wrong with him. I would have liked to see how she even responded to him. It doesn't say here in the story, but that would have been interesting to see.
Oh, I would have probably responded with fury, with everything wrong with that jerk off that I could think of, and I'd probably make up a few just to stick it in his
Yeah, I
gut.
bet a guy like that wouldn't like that very much either. He'd probably, very egotistical. He'd probably tell him a few digs at himself, you know, maybe telling his hair is thinning out and, you know, gee, for a guy who's 20, maybe better start getting on Rogaine, you know, something like that really probably sticks in a guy's gut, you know.
You know, maybe tell him something like, oh, there's no way I was going to go to bed with you. I knew you had a small penis, something like that.
Yeah, that would have been a good response to say, well, the only reason I didn't go to bed with you is because I only sleep with men.
There you go.
I'm sure she could have found something about him to rip into for sure. You know, what a scumbag.
In case I didn't make it clear before, he moved up from within the top 10 to clearly number 1. And I think he's way ahead of the record book for now.
I don't think anybody is going to catch this guy for the biggest ass hat on the internet.
Yeah, I wonder if that's in his dating profile.
You won't have sex with me on the first date, and you're a fat gal. You can expect a bunch of crack the next day in your text messages.
I cannot believe somebody would say that.
That's just a guy with no class.
That sounds like a guy who couldn't spell class.
That sounds like a guy who's never even been to a class.